So, hey, people of God, this is Rashana B back with On My Way Up movement, and I'm back with an awesome word. So, people of God, I wanted to talk with you all about the favor of God. Okay. And I want to talk about this because a lot of people don't know that they could actually lose the favor of God. Okay, and I'm gonna give you some biblical support on that, biblical, evidence or whatever that you can lose the favor of God. And so the reason why I want to talk about this is because you need to know how. Okay. And so I've experienced the favor of God. I know because people were good to me and they didn't even know why. They didn't know why they went out of their way for me. They didn't know why they were so generous, why they were so kind, why they were so patient, why they were so forgiving, why they were so merciful. They didn't even know. Oftentimes, people would say that, or they would be like, wow, I have never seen that happen before. I've never seen them do something like that. And I'm going to give you an example. This was at a time in my life where I was starting all the way over from the beginning, from the ground up. And God had told me to go to a certain church, and give my testimony. And so I went, just out of obedience to God, not expecting anything at all. And I went to this church and I gave my testimony. Do you know that all of a sudden people just started coming up and putting offerings, literally at my feet. Okay. And I ended up being blessed with over $7,000 and a job at the church. Okay. And so I was able to find my way, find my way up. I was on my way up after that, able to give me a place, a car, and I had a job. And my life, it was just an example. That's just an example of the favor of God. Okay. And that has always been um a thing in my life since I've been walking with God. When I'm in close relationship with God, I have noticed this. It's a common theme. I just walk in a blessing after blessing. I just walk in a breakthrough after breakthrough. Okay. Okay. I'm not saying my life is perfect and that I don't have problems, but I'm just saying that clearly the hand of God is upon me. Okay. Clearly, He's hiding me in the shadow of His wings. Okay. Like I said, I've had people even say, that clearly God is with you, clearly your favorite. Wow. I don't even know what made me do that. Like, wow, just something told me to come and give you that. Something just told me to come and say that. Something just told me to come and just ask you, things like that. Okay. And so I've also experienced the opposite of favor, which I would say is reproach. God put that word in my heart a couple of nights ago in prayer. And reproach, I lifted up, is basically disgrace, shame, defeat. Okay. And so I've experienced that. And every time I've been in a backslidden state, which is twice since my 10-year journey, since I've been a child of Christ, every time I backslid, both times I backslid, I experienced reproach at its worst. Okay. And what I mean by that is that I would experience rejection. I would experience a lot of hate. I would experience a lot of disrespect and rudeness from people who literally refused to help me for no reason at all. Literally just didn't even want to be kind, just even be polite. And it was like everywhere I went, I would find this door slamming in my face. Interviews before I even started speaking, before I even said hello. When I sat down in a chair, I looked at the interviewer's face and knew, wow, okay, she doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. Okay, it's not going to go well, and it wouldn't. You know, I would experience, getting scammed a lot, like mechanics. I would go and get my car fixed, and they would often overcharge me. The work would be shady. I mean, just bad relationships, bad experiences, a lot of shame. At this time, during these times, I often experience financial lack and distress, almost to the point of poverty, where I lose everything. I got to start all the way over. Oh, yeah, like the worst kind of reproach. The kind of reproach where a person is looking at me and like, wow, you need to go pray. Like, it's like you're cursed. And so that was my life as a backslidden believer. And a backslider isn't a person who makes a mistake, bad decision, or sin. It's a person who wallows in it. And so that was me. My attitude, out of immaturity, not understanding the mercy of God, still being really carnal, and selfish. I would feel like, okay, well, I might as well just keep doing it. Like I said, oftentimes, I backslid behind a relationship. which basically means sex or sexual immorality. And so, my feelings are involved. I don't want to cut the relationship off. And so I will basically idolize the relationship, put the relationship over, God and what I knew was right. And I suffered tremendously for that. And I believe it was because I always knew better, because I had experienced the goodness of the Lord, his favor, and it was like I was throwing it back up in his face, which brings me to the biblical evidence of this. Esau. Okay, Esau was given the birthright, and Esau, out of hunger, you guys, just hunger. Now I know that hunger can be, we've seen extreme cases of hunger, okay, but this was not the case with Esau. This was just a guy who had been out hunting. He was a hunter, you know, uh, he was a gamer, and meaning like, he hunted game or whatever, and he came in tired, hungry, and just in a moment of selfishness, of carnality, okay, he sells his birthright. Something that was very, very, which really was just a favor of his father given to God. Okay, God will give the father favor, and the father will give the son his oldest favor. Okay, which was the firstborn birthright, which was usually a blessing that, was about prosperity, fruitfulness, productivity, peace, security, contentment, those things, those very huge and important things, which is really favor. And so he sold it to Jacob. And the Bible would always call Esau a profane man after that. And profane means an irreverent person. Okay, meaning you didn't even rever the favor. You didn't rever the fact that you were given the firstborn birthright. This is a huge thing. This is a big deal, bro. You didn't even care anything about it. You sold it just for a bowl of soup. Jacob obviously knew how important it was because he 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 tricked his brother out of it. Jacob understood very well what the firstborn birthright was about. Okay, but Esau cared nothing about it. And all the way, even in the New Testament, he will be referred to as a profane man. And so I was a profane woman when I rejected the favor of God to go back out into the world and backslide against God irreverently the way that I did. And so I wanted to share that with you all because here's the thing. You know, usually when we go back out there, meaning like when we go back out there to the world, I think that it's because we feel like we haven't really got our roll out. We haven't really experienced everything out there. Okay. But for those of you who have backslid and went back, just think about it. Even as for me, like I looked at it, it was totally not worth it. It was just like it just was not worth doing God like that. It was never worth me shunning my birthright. It was never worth me rejecting the favor of God. And let me tell you something. Sometimes you never receive that favor back. Cain never received his favor back. He never received it. He walked the rest of his days as a wanderer. Okay. It's only by the mercy of God that you receive your favor back. Peter received his back after he denied Jesus 3 times. He received favor back from God. Okay, there's people, there's kings who turned their lives around, did a whole reformation thing in the nation of Israel, and tore down idols in high places and received their favor back. David received his favor back. Now he still paid some consequences for Bathsheba and murdering Uriah, but his favor was still with God. He was the lighthouse. He was where Jesus came from. Okay. And so he received his favor, but sometimes you never do. And you never know when it's that time that God takes it and never gives it back to you. We take chances. And this is what makes it profane because you don't understand that there are some people that, are begging for that very thing that you have. They will actually trick you out of it, like Jacob did Esau. And yet you just so cavalierly, we just so cavalierly, irreverently walk away from it to go back out there for what? Do you know that both times I backslid behind a relationship on Christ, cheated on Christ with a man, okay, those relationships failed or ended up in divorce, okay, a nasty divorce, Okay. Like the worst ever. Okay. So it's like, really, Rashana? Like, was it really worth it? And then I gotta fight my way back. I gotta go through all this spiritual warfare, all these enemy attacks to get back what God has always wanted to give me. And God is so good. He is so good that He gave it back to me. He gave it back to me. He didn't have to do that. He didn't. But He's merciful and He's good. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you all about. I don't know why, you guys, lately, that is what I have been talking a lot to you all about: backsliding, relapsing, addiction, want to go back to the old ways. I guess people, you all are struggling with this. Someone is struggling with this. And so I hope that this video helps you rethink your agenda. It's really, truly not worth it. This probably isn't your first time relapsing or backsliding and or going back into a dark place. And just think about it. When you went into it, was it worth it? Was it really worth it? When you came out of it and you look back, like, was it really all that good? It was probably pleasurable. It probably gave you some happiness, but those things are fleeting. It's not real. It's not authentic. It does not last and it costs way too much. Okay. And so, there were things that I just, I found myself, you know what it all had to do with? Just not trusting God, not wanting to wait on God, not being patient, getting weary and well doing, still full of selfishness and carnality, you know, instead of me just deciding, okay, you know what, God, I'm going to wait on you and I'm going to let you choose for me. Because when I go out there and I choose for me, it does not work. And it simply just came one day for me like this. I was on my knees. I was at a really dark place and I was in a state of reproach. I was in a state of disgrace. And I said, you know what, God, I'm tired of using you. I'm tired of using you. I'm tired of, trying to get down on you, trying to get what I can get out of you. And then when I get in a good place, all of a sudden you don't seem to be good enough for me no more. And I leave you. I cheat on you. I'm unfaithful. And I don't want to keep playing with you like that, God. You don't deserve that, because when I'm in this same state right here in this deep dark abyss, and I'm in a state of shame and disgrace and defeat, nobody's here. In every case, both times I backslid, no one was there for me but God to help me pick up the pieces, help me to pick up my heart and restore me. Nobody has never ever been faithful to me the way God has and brought me out. And I said, you know what, God? I'm done. It's nothing out there. I went out there. I got it out of my system. I see that everything that you have ever said is true. I cannot live this life without you. I do not know what I'm doing. I need you. And this time, God, I'm uncompromised. There is no compromise. There is no lukewarmness this time. There is no, just doing a little bit of this and doing a little bit of that. Because guess what? That compromise is what led me into a backslidden state and losing the favor of God. So, people of God, I didn't have any notes when I did this. I was in the middle of prayer and I just wanted to come and talk with you guys about this. I hope that this blesses you. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me what you all think about my content. I want you all to know that when you all comment, it really, really blesses me. Like, it's not about, completely about, this word spreading and me getting more subscribers and things like that. It's really not solely about that. I would be lying if I was saying that I don't want my ministry to grow, but it helps me when you all comment, because it confirms to me that I'm doing the right thing. Okay, that I'm saying, it confirms to me that, someone is being helped, someone is being blessed. Someone commented on one of my videos the other day, Preacher Levi, and his comment blessed me, you guys. It blessed me so much to where I literally almost started crying, because I was like, wow, so people are really being helped. The answer, truth seeker, daughter of a king. You all comment and you all don't know how much you bless me, and I try to get back at you guys as quickly as I can. because I want to be interactive with you guys, so forgive me if I don't get back with you as quickly as I can. You all, I think I'm gonna go ahead and add the link to my email. My email is Rashana B at On My Way Up Movement. No, it's Rashana B On My Way Up Movement at gmail.com. I'll try to put the links in the description box, you guys. I'm not technology savvy, so I don't know how to do all of that kind of stuff. I'm trying to get to where I get there. But you all can start emailing me at Rashana B On My Way Up Movement at Gmail if you have things that you want to talk about, questions and things of that nature. You all, like I said, please like, subscribe, share, comment, tell me what y'all think about my content, and I'll be back with another word. Y'all have a blessed one.